Welcome to Extreme Sports, where sport is extreme. First, we're gonna look at
Dad. Dad,
what? What's the matter?
do you even know what extreme sports is?
No. What is extreme sports?
Well, the word extreme has filtered into mainstream society. Extreme sports has led the way to popularize going to the extreme, even in everyday life.
Okay, Lindsay, how has extreme sports affected our society?
Well, for example, the cars we drive, television, and even the food we eat.
Ooh, I hope they have extreme Big Macs. Well, give me an example of an extreme sport.
Well, how about motocross?
What is motocross?
No, Dad, motocross.
Motocross? When did they start that sport?
Well, in 1947, a French man named Roland Poirier was the first person to start a motocross race. Many nations were a part of this race, therefore called Motocross des Nations, or Motocross of the Nations. During the 1960s, MX racing was a popular sport in the U.S. Motocross is a game played on courses and tracks.
Well, what kind of courses and tracks do they even use for motocross?
Well, the courses and tracks of the racing must be between 1 mile and 3 miles long. These courses are natural and man-made roadblocks.
Well, it's good to see they made some type of a good use out of Arrowhead Stadium. Okay, Lindsay, so how is motocross played?
Well, every racer will start at the same time. A race divided into 2 parts is called heats. Each heat might last as long as 40 minutes. MX racer will have to finish a set number of laps around the course in a short amount of time. A winner is not determined by doing well in the first heat, because if he does bad in the first heat, he can do well in the second.
Those fellas that ride those motorcycles sure do have to wear a fancy outfit.
Yeah, they have a lot of specialized gear that they have to wear, such as a helmet and goggles, boots, pants, shirt, and gloves. A helmet should have a soft, cushiony padding on the inside that has a snug fit. Goggles are used to keep rocks and dirt out of the racer's eyes. The boots should have steel toes to keep their feet protected as they get dragged along. They should also Motocross pants are made of goat skin and are well padded at the knees and hips. Shirts are to be long-sleeved and worn over a padded chest protector. Gloves are to protect the racer's hands and give a better grip on the levers and handlebars, also to help control the bike better. Also, Dad, they have some fancy moves.
Such as?
Standing, wheelies, spinning donut, and a brake slide.
Ooh, I hope it's a jelly donut.
Poppin' it is a phrase motocross racers use for wheelies. In standing position, the racer stands on the pegs instead of sitting on the seat. It's one of the most important moves to know. Spinning donut is done by making a tight sliding circle in the dirt and forming a donut shape.
Oh, that looks easy.
Okay, Dad. When doing a brake slide, a racer makes a fast stop by holding the rear brake while the bike slides sideways to a stop.
Oh my, he almost lost his head over that one.
Here are a few difficult tricks when doing freestyle motocross.
Oh, now come on, what are so tough about those?
Dad, we both know that you don't know how to do any of that.
Now what's a little jump like that? That's so easy. Look at that. That's a cinch.
Although the motorcycle stunts are showy, the real champions are in this list of racers. Hey Dad, did you notice that your name isn't in this list?
Okay, Linz. Motocross does seem like a pretty extreme sport, but what other extreme sports are there?
How about snowboarding?
Snowboarding? How long has that been around?
Snowboarding has been around for more than 40 years. The first snowboard was invented in 1960 called the Snurferboard.
Gesundheit.
Jake Burton was one of the original snowboard instructors in 1977. He also started Burton Snowboards, which is still in existence today. The basic techniques of snowboarding include stance, falls,
I'd be good at that.
stopping, skidding, and traversing. Here are a few examples of the basic stances in snowboarding.
Wait a minute. That looks like the same stance to me.
Dad, there's a big difference. In a regular stance, you have your left foot forward, but in a goofy stance, your right foot is forward.
Oh.
When a rider is not feeling comfortable with his speed, he will do a controlled fall. He faces uphill and gets as low to the ground as possible, and then reaches the ground with his hands. In making a stop, a rider twists his waist and keeps his eyes in the direction of the board. He then shifts his weight to the front foot and kicks the snowboard around. He then leans uphill for a backside stop. A rider can skid by shifting his weight forward and then lowering his body to get a better balance. If he leans uphill, it will slow the snowboard to get the right speed. This move is mainly used for turning. Traversing is used for crossing a slope by leaning forward and uphill. Some of the moves used in snowboarding are carve, spins, fakie, and catching air.
Fakie? What kind of name is that?
A carve is done by rocking your weight over the snowboard while your heels are pressed into the snow. For doing a toe side carve, your weight is moved forward while the edge of your toes are in the snow.
Boy, all this shifting your weight around, I'd be good at that.
The technique of spinning is where you rotate your hips as you turn your shoulders, and the board will spin around. Here are a few examples of spins in the air.
Now, when I was your age, my mama didn't let me do stuff like that.
Oh, do get over it, Father. Riding down a hill with your rear foot going first is a fakie, also known as a switch stance, or riding down a hill backwards. Catching air is a variety of tricks that the snowboarder does while he is airborne.
And if not done properly, he'll be eating snow. Boy, Lindsay, snowboarding does look like a lot of fun.
Yeah, Dad, it is a lot of fun, but when snowboarding, you really need to have the proper attire.
Oh, yeah? Like what?
Well, Dad, if you really want to know, grab a paper and pencil, and I'll give you a list.
Okay, I'm ready.
First of all, there are two different kinds of shirts you'll need to wear, a thermal shirt and a wool sweater. But if that's not enough, you'll need to wear a waterproof jacket. Also, to keep you warm and dry, you'll need insulated pants. The rider wears warm gloves with Velcro to keep the snow out, and tinted goggles to protect eyes from glare and flying snow.
Okay, now slow down. I can't write that fast.
The snowboarder wears a wool hat to keep their heads warm. And the boots are very important. They should be low cut with a snug fit because the snowboarders need good ankle support.
That's good, 'cause I got weak ankles. Okay, I've got all that. What else is there?
Well, how about the snowboard itself? The boards are usually about 4 to 6 feet long and flexible with curved ends, a buckle pad for each foot, and a leash.
A leash? For what? Your dog?
No, Dad. The leash is strapped to their ankles, so if they fall, the board won't run away. Okay, Dad. Pay close attention to this snowboarding tip.
Wow, that's a good thing that was a Yugo and not a double-decker bus. Hey, Linz, watch me snowboard. Here I go! Ooh! 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 Ow! Ooh! Ooh! Oh! Ooh! Oh! 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 Oh!
Okay, Dad. There's one last extreme sport that I want to show you. See if you can guess what it is.
Okay, let me guess. It's windsurfing.
No.
Oh, man.
Actually, it's rock climbing.
Oh, okay, rock climbing. Tell me what you know about rock climbing.
British rock climbing influenced the United States in this sport. Royal Robbins and Yvon Chouinard, both from California, influenced American climbers by their books and inventions. Okay, Dad, let's just jump right into the basics of rock climbing. Your legs contain your most powerful muscles. Almost all upward movement comes from leg power. As one rock climber put it, look below you. The answer is in your feet. Looking around involves making sure you're not missing an easier route to climb. When climbing, you need to be relaxed and take your time. Otherwise, your strength will quickly fade. In order to conserve your muscle energy, you need to use your bones over muscles when you can. For example, hanging from a straight arm beats hanging from an arm whose muscles are contracted. Rest is coming to a stopping point so you can allow an arm or a leg to recover from fatigue.
Now wait a minute, Lindsay. It almost sounds like rest climbing and relaxed climbing are the same thing. What's the difference?
The difference is that in relaxed climbing, you are trying to avoid fatigue, but in resting, you are trying to recover from fatigue.
Oh.
Now I would like to introduce you to some rock climbing moves. Layback is climbing a steep wall, pulling with your hands and arm while your feet push on the wall as you go upward. Climbing a wall with a crack split down the middle can be done when you place your hands inside the crack, one higher than the other, and climb by pushing against the rock.
You call this extreme sport? That looks like extreme torture to me.
If you think that one's torturous, then you ought to try the undercling. An undercling is where a climber pulls on the underside of a rock while their feet push evenly on the wall to keep balance. Biceps are well used in this position. Low lean is when a climber leans close into the rock, keeping legs bent and feet gripped on the rock while your hands look for a place to grab hold of. But no gear is more important in any other sport as the gear that is used for rock climbing. The climber's shoes have a snug fit and are similar to a ballet slipper and a wrestling shoe. There are two different types of harnesses, diaper style and leg loop style. The leg loop style is most commonly used today.
Probably because they grew out of the diaper style.
Carabiners are used to hold the rope and is secured into a rock to prevent long-distance falls.
Carabiner. That sure is a funny name.
Chalk is used to give a climber better grip and keep his hands dry.
That guy looks like he's been in a motocross accident.
The chalk bag holds the chalk and hangs around the back side of the climber's waist. The most commonly used ropes are short and thick. They help prevent falls and hold on to you as you fall.
Who are these guys? A couple of window washers?
No, Dad. It looks like they never made it to the top, so they decided to take a little cat nap.
I sure hope they're light sleepers.
Hey, Dad, what is this all about?
Well, I just thought I'd put a nice little training video in here in case you were rock climbing and you fell. Oops!